Hello, this is Darice, and I am going to be playing with recording for 111 days, ideally in a row. We'll see what actually happens. I'm going to stay open to how it unfolds. I'm doing this at the prompt of being in another container where it was suggested that we record video for 111 days on YouTube. But I'm not going to do that. There's no way I'm going to be camera ready 111 days in a row. I can barely be camera ready 2 days a week for my YouTube channel, Moonlight Illuminated. And even if I'm okay with having days where I don't do full makeup, like just the bare minimum, I'm still not comfortable being on camera without my hair being halfway decent. And I really don't like the idea of being on camera with some kind of bonnet, even if it's a nice one. Like even the ones I sleep in, like they're nice enough to wear out in public. Like I don't like the ones that are obviously bonnets. Like I like the ones that look more like a slouchy or a beanie. So you can actually wear them out and about and, not look like you literally just rolled out of bed. But even still, I don't feel comfortable being on camera in those, which is probably something else I can dive into at one point on one of these audios, all the hang-ups I have around that. But this intro, this first episode, I guess, is just for me to lay the groundwork that I'm not really sure what's going to be coming through in this space. I'm interested in a lot of different things besides astrology, like the Schumann resonance, solar flares, solar storms, how that's impacting us. I'd like to learn a little bit more about 3i Atlas and all the conversations around that. And I've been telling people for years that I feel like we're becoming a new species, that our DNA is changing. And so it's nice that in the last couple of years, I've been seeing more people on YouTube in astrology and outside of astrology talk more about that as well. My intuition is that this is why we have a lot of the anxiety and discomfort and even depression that some people may be experiencing on the planet. I think that's part of it, is that they're feeling the DNA change. They're feeling this massive seismic shift on the inside, but they don't have words for it. It's subconscious, it's unconscious, but people can sense it. They can feel it. And because on some level, they feel the enormity of it, but they don't have words for it. That can drive some of the anxiety and stress and fear that people are experiencing. And what do I want to say? I feel like people like myself, people who are light leaders, healers, that part of our role is to help people navigate that fear, that anxiety, that and just all the feelings that everyone's having around all of these major transitions happening around the globe. Pluto is an Aquarius. We will have a new form of government by the end of this transit, like 18, 19 years from now. No one knows what that looks like, but it's obvious just from everything that's happening, the collapse of our systems, that what we think of as government is most likely not going to exist in the form it's in the next 5 to 7 years. And so even for myself, someone who used to be like a major political junkie, like most of my life, I used to follow that stuff incredibly closely. And I used to feel a great deal of optimism around democracy and the Constitution. And I never thought I would live through the level of corruption that we're seeing now. And this is on both sides. All parties have contributed to that corruption, which is heartbreaking. And it's why I don't follow it as closely as I used to, because it just breaks my heart too much. So I follow enough to still be a good citizen. I like to still call my Congress people and my senators and even my governor from time to time tell them how I want them to vote or what I want them to support or not support. And I'll still vote because I do still believe in voting, and I am a Black woman. Too many people died for me to have the right to vote. So I will always vote as long as I am alive. And beyond that, I'm just not really attached. I'm just going to see what happens. And I'm going to do my part to inspire other people to do their part. Because we have very big problems that need to be fixed in our society. And I feel like a big part of that, a big part of my role as a light leader is to help calm people down. That if I can help enough other healers, artists, activists, problem solvers alchemize the fear, the anxiety, the stress that they are experiencing, the creative solopreneurs, the spiritual solopreneurs, if I can work with those people to calm them down enough to live from their own space of genius, their skills, their gifts, their talents. Because people who are freaked out, they don't think clearly. Like, that's just a given. It's why one of the reasons why when kids are having traumatic experiences at home, they have a hard time learning. Like, the brain literally cannot take in a certain amount of information when we're traumatized. So if I can help people who are going through the trauma of all of these changes calm down enough to move through those intense feelings, to alchemize it, to move it through the body, because that's been my experience of how to alchemize rage and grief. It's not about stuffing it down. It's about actually expressing it, feeling it, whether it's actually crying, hitting a pillow, dancing, creating a piece of artwork, channeling that energy into something healthy and productive, or a combination of all of the above, talking it out a lot with other people and yourself and your spirit guides and the divine. Like, that's how I alchemized all of the stuff I needed to alchemize. It was a combination of all of the above. So if I can help those folks do that, they can begin to live from their zone of genius. And my intuition, my belief is that the more people we have living and operating from their zone of genius, their skills, their gifts, their talents, solutions will come to the surface. Because the one thing that's been consistent throughout history is that change happens when people solve problems. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons I've been so optimistic in 2025. It's been a very surreal experience for me to be happier than I have ever been, to feel more solid, more grounded, closer to the divine than I have ever felt in my entire life. Like, I just have this sense, this feeling of unbridled optimism, joy. And I'm not ignoring what's happening in the world, in the collective. Like, this is not spiritual bypassing. It's the exact opposite. I think it's because there is so much challenge that I know that that's going to force people to change. That we're in a space now where we cannot deny the dysfunction. Like, people who used to ignore everything that was wrong in our culture, they're not ignoring it anymore. Partly because they're being affected by it more directly. But the point is, we're at a point where it just can't be unseen. People know, sense, feel change has to happen. And I think that's why I feel so optimistic. We're at a point of no return. And I really do believe there's more good than bad. That there are more people motivated by good, by love, by harmony. that seed has been planted, and that frequency is going to amplify as a result of people moving through the trauma, the distress, by communities coming together and helping the weak, the vulnerable. Because I do see more and more of that happening. That as people recognize that no one's coming to save us, that we have to save ourselves and each other. And I think that that's why I have optimism, because I see people doing it already. It's on a smaller scale. It's not on the news. This is not what people are talking about to drive clickbait. But when you look at what's actually happening in communities on the ground, there's so much cause for optimism and joy. And I'm in so many spaces with amazing people who talk about other amazing people. And I know that that's the majority of the planet. So I really do believe that at the end of the day, yeah, it's going to be tough. There's going to be long, challenging days, months. But we're going to get through it. I really believe we're going to get through it, and we're going to get through it together. And we're going to be better than we've ever been. I feel like humanity is evolving to become better versions of ourselves. And so that's a lot of the discomfort too. Because in order for that to happen, a lot of what we are attached to, what our ego considers safe, has to die. It has to be released. It has to be let go. We have to loosen the grip on it. Actually open our hands so that we can receive something completely new from the divine. But if we can let it go, if we can release the grip, we can receive more light, more love, more information that's actually going to help us solve the problems, make ourselves and the world a better place. And I can feel it. I can feel it happening, and I can feel it coming. So I think that's why I felt so good in 2025. I feel better each and every day. And I think it's also because I'm doing stuff like this, starting this podcast, connecting with more people, helping more people. And I know it has an impact, people who watch my YouTube channel, who comment on how it calms them down, it soothes them. And that's what I've always been good at. I've always been able to calm people down. And that's why I set myself up the last couple of years to be in this position now. I knew just looking at the astrology that, 2025 and on, we were going to be going through a lot of changes. There was going to be a lot of tough stuff for people to face. And I knew I had gifts and talents to bring to the table to help people move through that. And that's really one of my biggest gifts, is that I can calm people down. Because when people can calm down, they can feel, they can be more in tune with their intuition. And this is so critical, especially with Uranus transiting through Gemini. I mean, right now, this is November 2025. So currently it just went back into Taurus. It's going to be doing its final cleanup in Taurus, but then it's going back into Uranus and Gemini, where it's going to be for quite a while. And so Uranus and Gemini, Uranus disruption, Gemini communication. In a nutshell, Uranus and Gemini can often be a lot of misinformation, misdirections, illusions, fast and furious. So we've all been experiencing a lot of that in 2025, and that's not going to slow down. But the gift in that, the beauty of that, is that we're changing as a species. Our intuition is becoming stronger, clearer, louder. So the paradox is that we have to pull away from the information overload. We have to reduce our consumption of all these different feeds and ways to get information so that we can really be in tune with our own innate inner authority, which is the other reason why I think a lot of people are attracted to human design now, and that's going to increase since so much of human design is about figuring out what is your own personal inner authority and how to follow it. And I think that's going to just only intensify. But even if you're not someone who follows human design, most people instinctively are feeling the pull to go within more. And so if more people can follow that, create the space to really be in tune with what their body is telling them, teaching them, we can really begin to feel and know and sense what is a truth and what is a lie. We'll be able to be more discerning with all the information coming at us. So hopefully in this space, I'll be able to help people do more of that sort of thing. And if nothing else, just me talking this stuff out loud is going to help me sharpen my own intuition and help me be in a stronger space to be able to help others do the same. So this is a very long intro or first episode. I don't know if it's either a very short episode or a very long intro. I'm not sure which. But here it is. This is the beginning of whatever this new journey is about to be for me. I'm not even sure what it is. But I also think that this is also a part of being a new human, is learning to dance with the unknown and welcome it. To give ourselves permission to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. That's one of the best things I ever learned at one of the sales jobs I had a few years ago. A sales trainer I had taught us that when you can be comfortable with the uncomfortable, you can really be successful. But I'm recognizing now that there's an even more deeper spiritual teaching and truth in that. So, welcome to the unknown. Dance with the uncomfortable. And let's do it together. Peace and love.